Hey folks, it's Stu and Andy from Evolution Unleashed. And today we want to have a bit of a real talk about AI and sort of look through the hype, look through the doomerism and sort of break all that away and get back down to the heart of where AI is today. And more importantly, what it means for you and how you can prepare for this incredible disruption that's coming. And look, the thing is, you get people like Sam Altman, who's the CEO and co-founder of OpenAI, saying things like, AI is going to take a lot of jobs away. And he's just been in India, Andy, where he spoke to all these students, and he said, millions of jobs are going away, millions. And while that's quite disturbing on one side, he also said, yes, but there's a second side to the coin, which is the abundance that is going to flow from AI. And he's put out some ridiculous numbers, Andy, that I can't wrap my head around, where he says over the next decade or two, we're going to see 50% GDP growth per year on year, which is incredible. The wealth creation that is about to happen with AI is immense. But the sort of dichotomy or difficulty we have right now is just sort of seeing where we are. And it's really hard to imagine that, Andy. It's really hard to put ourselves in a mindset where AI is integrated into every aspect of our life, because that is coming whether we like it or not. So people aren't preparing. People are just sort of playing on ChatGPT, kind of, oh, yep, it did some cool stuff. I got a cake recipe. I got a workout routine, but I don't really, it's not really that great yet. And they're missing out on the ability to go deep into ChatGPT and withdraw some absolutely mind-blowing stuff that we're already applying to business now. We're seeing massive results like workflows from 160 hours collapse down to 30 hours, the saving in that in labor is immense. But people are saying, well, what does it mean for me? Will AI take my job? Will AI destroy my business? But Andy, as we've been talking a lot, before we get into those sort of deeper questions, the fact is AI in its current state today can't do your job. It can't take away your role, because the role of the human is still integral in terms of our experience and our expertise and our ability to execute what you call, Andy, the 3 E's.
Right. And before we talk about the 3 E's, I think just using a quick analogy that most people would probably see, will probably understand if you've seen Iron Man 2. It's that scene where Tony Stark goes to his dad's old complex and brings back like big models of the whole Stark park thingamajiggy, and Jarvis, not the tower, but the whole amusement park, right? So, right. So Jarvis scans everything and pulls it into this hologram, and Iron Man, Tony Stark, starts to play around with it and just does a lot of experiments, and all of a sudden, boom, it hits, right? And that was the formula to redesign and reinvent the arc reactor, right? So I'm mentioning that right now because at the moment, the current AI technologies and tools that we have are essentially an extension of our own intelligence and capacities, right? So when I say that, I mean that if you have experience and expertise in a certain field, when you are using AI can help you extrapolate the amount of knowledge that you're able to assimilate all together at once, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't know what we don't know. And for us to have trillions of sets, like a little over a trillion set of data, like ChatGPT 4, that would take us a really long time to accumulate, right? And a lot of it may or may not be relevant to us where we are in our lives, right? But ChatGPT does that all for us. We just need to know how to tap into that wealth of knowledge in order to find and rethink ways to do business, to do whatever we want to do, but in a more effective and efficient way, right? And yes, ChatGPT AI technology seems cool. It seems really awesome. It can do a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it really is still in its infancy. It's really not mature yet, right? There's a lot of things you can do, but at the same time, it does make a lot of mistakes, and it does hallucinate, and sometimes you can get it to do dumb things as well, right? And which is funny once in a while, right? But when we take a really deep look at the advantages and disadvantages of AI technology, AI tools like ChatGPT, Bing, all that kind of stuff, it really comes down to how do we want to be able to use this technology to help augment our lives, augment our businesses, augment our work, augment our careers. There's a lot that AI tech can do. It's just how right now. And I think that's the biggest problem that we're trying to take a look at from different angles and perspectives.
Yeah, Andy, you know that's bang on, because as AI stands now in its infancy, a lot of people are saying, okay, great, well, I'll wait, right? It'll get better and then I'll jump in. Or, you know, I spoke to one business owner and he's like, I just don't want to learn a new skill right now. I'm not interested. You know, many people are sleeping on AI, and they're going to wake up one day and the world is going to have changed. Because I've been reading some interesting stuff around, you know, when this, you know, AGI is kind of the goal, and it's very clear that OpenAI are wanting to be the first ones to achieve it, and they may be very, very close in the background. We don't know, but artificial general intelligence is simply an AI like ChatGPT or Bing that can do everything that a human can do, literally. So that's quite incredible when you think about it. And it used to be the realm of science fiction, and now they're saying, you know, we'll have it by 2029. And now Sam Altman's saying, actually, we could get there in the next 2 to 3 years. That exponential rise in technology is phenomenal. Now, humans traditionally, we're slow to change. We're slow to adapt. We don't like change. And that's why I think, you know, the adoption rates are off the charts. 14% of people already using it weekly, or, you know, 4% of those daily, 8% weekly. So people are using this tool, and the adoption rate is significantly faster than, say, iPhones or other, you know, internet technology. Yet by the same token, a lot of people are missing out because they don't understand its value yet, or they haven't figured out how to extract that value. You know, we're using it in business. We came to ChatGPT. If you don't know our story, folks, we sort of saw ChatGPT the day it came out. 30th of November 2022 will be a day that history marks as a turning point when we look back. But, you know, that was the day that we first started using this tool, and probably like you, we were so excited. Wow, look, you see that magic cursor dancing across the screen, all these answers. But as you go down the road a bit more, you realize it's pretty bland, it's pretty generic. It's like a jack of all trades. It's giving you very predictable answers. But we were not satisfied with that. And we took some real world use cases, and we just kept hammering at it until we were able to break down and figure out how to get ChatGPT to give us some real world value. And in doing so, we came up with a new prompt structure, you know, which is a bit more extensive. Now, this isn't just for novel stuff. We focus predominantly on business, entrepreneurship, people that want to start a side hustle online because they're worried their job might go away. So we're here to cater to that audience. And what we'd say is, you can get real world value from ChatGPT now. As I said, we've collapsed marketing workflows, but not just that. We've aligned our offer perfectly to our target market. In fact, we can go a level deeper and align our offer perfectly to 4 very separate segments of our market and speak to them very individually. The personalization aspect of AI, yet to be determined. Anyway, the point of all this rant and rambling really is ChatGPT has power now if you're prepared to learn it, and if you're prepared to, you know, shift the way you think. But the exciting and problematic part is, both exciting and problematic, is that we don't have sort of a roadmap forward. We don't know what AI is going to do to society. We know what people are extrapolating out and saying it's going to destroy us, doom, people are going to use it, or it might get really intelligent and turn on its creators, you know, all this weird kind of stuff, where in reality, humans are still driving that tool. And it's just, for now at least, a very powerful tool. And the way to unlock it is through advanced prompting, which is something we teach for free in our Facebook group, which is Evolution Unleashed AI. You can come in there. We've got training guides, all free, because we really want people to understand how to use this technology today, so that when this exponential curve is run its course, we have ridden it all the way. We have been part of that process. Because if you wait, you're going to wake up one day and the world will have changed, which is what I started this little rant with. And the point of that is something else Sam Altman said, you know, when AGI, or when that big breakthrough in AI happens, you won't know. Life will keep going on. We won't know the day it happens. We'll just know when it starts getting out into society. So it could have already happened. We just don't know. The point is, Kansas is going bye-bye, Dorothy, Wizard of Oz reference. And the way things have been will no longer be the way things are going to be. Andy, how on earth do we as business owners, as community members, as family members that want to provide for our families potentially, how do we reconcile this massive kind of leap in technology when we don't have a playbook? We don't have anything to sort of lean on and say, this is what society is going to look like. It's mentally, it's quite a tough place to be in.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And when there's so many different ways to come at this topic, right? You could have philosophical ways, you could have like cultural ways, even religious ways, like, but we're not going to touch that.
Not today.
Right? But yeah, but I think what's really important, what we can do right now, is just start by asking simple questions, like, what if we could do it like this, or why can't we do it like that, or like, why does this happen, right? A lot of thoughts, because at the end of the day, invention and innovation comes from necessity, right? And what do we actually want to have? What do we need to have in our lives, right? And it really comes down to, like, so we're getting a little bit philosophical here, but your awareness of the possibilities in your life right now, right? So awareness of possibility, that's two different things. Like, if you see possibilities but you don't realize that actually that can be part of my life, then you're not going to have that want or need to actually want to go that extra step to, like, explore, right? If you want to explore but you don't see the possibilities, then, like, there's nothing for you to really explore. You're going to have a hard time just fumbling around in the dark, right? Now, AI technology, like, so especially GPT-4, it gives you both, right? It gives you anything that you can think of in terms of a text format, and as long as you can explain to ChatGPT what you want, or just, maybe not even explain, just tell it what you want to describe, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that, but also I have this limitation, I have this restriction. What can I do in this sense, right? And a lot of it does come back even deeper into the awareness sector of introspection, right? Do you understand where you're coming from, what you want to be doing, and all that? And is this really something you want to do, or is this something that the status quo expects you to do, right? So either way, it really comes back down to a level of awareness in where you are in life and where you want to get to, right? So if you see that difference, okay, then okay, so I'm not where I want to be, and how can I get there? So that's when these questions start going even deeper, right? But everything starts by asking questions and being curious about the possibilities that are out there. So I think, coming back to Stu's question about, how does this, what does this relate, like, what does this mean to us? I would say, as people in our lives, or maybe not even work, just start asking questions, right? And yes, a lot of these questions are going to be starting out as, simple one-line questions, but as you receive information, you receive knowledge from ChatGPT's trillion data sets, you're going to start to expand your awareness and your understanding of the possibilities. And when that happens, you will naturally start to ask deeper questions.
Yeah, and what excites me the most about AI today, not in the future, is the possibilities that it already opens up for us. And people are slow to really to learn this. And a lot of the problem is social media. Unfortunately, when you go on social media, you look at ChatGPT groups, or you look at content created, it's all fluffy, it's all quite, hard. And nobody's really sat down and said, look, this is a possibility that exists now. This is exactly how you use it. And this is how you unlock some value to really give yourself a massive edge in the market, and to really harness this technology in a way that can redefine and repurpose your life. So, we're working on a project at the moment, Andy, where essentially, instead of building your life around your business, you're going to be able to build your business around your life and create the perfect role for yourself by leaning into AI. So the thing we've already demonstrated and proven is that AI has immense value for entrepreneurs, for business owners right now. We've created some cool products. We're not here to sell those today, but at the end of the day, for anybody looking at AI and curious about what is it going to mean for me and my business, don't sleep on this. This revolution or disruption, or whatever you want to describe it as, is going to happen so fast. We're going to have AI personalized medicine. We're going to have a new way of learning. As AIs learn how you learn, and can teach you, right? So imagine what that's going to mean for school, for education. And it's going to take a while for that to all change because we're just so slow to adapt. But when that AI reaches a certain level of intelligence, we won't need to figure out how to make that change. It'll help us. And that's where a lot of the fear comes in, Andy. You know, I don't want to outsource to AI, and we've always been the dominant species on our planet. We've always been top of the food chain, and then to think that we have created an intelligence that may surpass us, it's quite mind-boggling. It really taps into our name, is evolution unleashed. It's the pinnacle, and we are witnessing the single greatest change, technology, whatever you want to call it, revolution that has ever been invented, that it will ever happen. This will be the turning point. If humanity survives and we end up at the, you know, traveling to the stars, there'll be a before AI and an after AI, and that'll be a massive, massive change. So Andy, one of the things, you know, that drives a lot of the fear around AI is the unknown. And as humans, we have this innate fear of the unknown, right? We don't know what's going to happen. So people tend to default to the negative. AI is going to destroy society. I don't buy into that. You know, our philosophy behind Evolution Unleashed is very clear. We're here to equip people, teach them how to use AI in a way that levels the playing field, takes the power away from these big corporations and these rich few and puts it back in the hands of the people. And AI has that promise. And part of our mission and our role with Evolution Unleashed is to be a voice for that, a voice that says AI is for all, not a few. It needs to be that no matter where you're born, no matter what body you're born into, you have the same opportunity. AI can create that same opportunity as every other person on the planet. It's still going to be up to you to take it. But we're heading into an age of abundance, I believe, where you're going to be able to create so much content. The amount of content that you're going to be able to consume is just going to explode. There's going to be new versions of YouTube that'll come out. You know, all these old things will pass and new things will come along. And, you know, text to video. In the last 2 months, the leap in text to video has been incredible. Imagine a ChatGPT where you can just type in, you know, as you said, Andy, it's having a clear idea of what you want, and that's where prompt structure comes in. We won't talk about that today, but essentially, imagine you can take your vision, articulate it clearly through prompting to an AI that can then create a video. That's incredible. And then 3D environments down the road. So we're entering an age of abundance. We're going to have proliferation of content. It's going to take automatically the power away. You know, big corporations aren't going to be able to compete. They're too people heavy. They're too bloated, right? And we, using AI, can compete on the same level as them now, today. So we're going to see a breakdown of big corporations, I think, and we're going to see a redistribution of wealth. And again, what we want to do is make sure that that wealth doesn't just benefit the rich, but actually finally transfers to the people, so that we all share in this age of abundance that is upon us. Now, Andy, it's very aspirational. Most people are out there being doomers, saying AI is going to destroy society, you know, and we're saying, well, regardless of what happens, we want to be a voice for good. We want to show people possibilities, because the possibilities that exist now are just absolutely mind-blowing. And you know, we're very fortunate, Andy, that through a lot of many late night prompting sessions that we find ourselves in, you know, we've been able to drill down beyond those 1 trillion data sets, if you like, and find the data sets that can help focus the power of that AI into whatever task we're doing. And focused AI is so powerful. Oh, we are entering the most exciting times, and most are sleeping. So, Andy, let's not ramble too long. This is just an introduction video to who we are, what we stand for, and where we see the industry, and what our approach is, which is very positive and about empowering and equipping people with the tools and skills to use AI to benefit themselves, their families, and their communities. And that's a very ambitious vision, but one that we, you know, demonstrate rather than talk about. We just do it. So any final words before we sort of in this video and my rant?
Right. So just to go back to, you know, how this relates to us and the fears. I, on the side, you know, I have a little like hobby. I do teach English where I am. I'm in Taiwan, so I do teach English. And when ChatGPT first came out, in the first 1 or 2 months, we were already using ChatGPT to help us with a lot of things, right? So obviously, I took it and tried to see what I could do with ChatGPT, for my teaching. Now, I understand that fear because when I saw what I could do, I had two fears right away, right? Number one, anybody could use this to learn even faster, learn English even faster, right? Because I knew how to prompt and I could get it to refine essays, to tell me, no, to give us feedback, could give me and my students feedback about what it did well, what the student did well, what didn't do well, potential areas of misunderstanding, all that kind of stuff, right? And at first, I'm being brutally honest right here. At first, I really wanted to keep this knowledge to myself. I wanted to like, oh well, I'm a teacher. I like, if other people learn how to do that, I'm not gonna have a job. But then I really quickly realized, no, this technology is going to be available to everybody. So instead of just hoarding all this, like little bits of information, I took a step back and I was like, okay, I'm going to teach my students how to use ChatGPT to help them learn English even better, even faster. And if they have any questions, they can just ask ChatGPT for a basic understanding or a basic explanation. And if they still have questions from there, that's when I can step in as a teacher and really focus on the more advanced parts of why it should be like this, it shouldn't be like this, right? And I really do see that the dynamics are starting to change in how we look at work, how we look at our jobs, how we look at our identity even as people. Because right now my job has changed from being a teacher to being more of a facilitator and guiding people's thoughts about, okay, so ask ChatGPT first, like get your like initial round of feedback, and then my role here is to help you execute it and help you take what you've learned and actually use it in real life, right? So I think that story really made me realize that yes, AI tools are very powerful, right? But there's two things that we all need to be able to do. Number one, we need to know how to use these tools, and number two, once we know how to use these tools, we need to be able to take that knowledge that we get from these tools and implement it into real life, right? And that's a really key thing at any stage with any kind of technology, right? Technology is only a piece of hardware. It's a tool that allows you to do a lot of things. However, even if you know all the answers in the world and you don't do anything about it, well, you're not going to have much to show for it, essentially, right? So I would definitely say that, those two parts really start learning how to use technology, even if this technology is still immature, still in its infancy. There's already a lot for us all to learn, right? And as you learn it and as it grows, you'll also be able to increase your understanding of this technology and find different ways to implement that knowledge into your life. And I believe that that is key in this current stage where we are with this technology.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And what's interesting, Andy, that fear you said, those two fears, I remember when we talked about the agency that we were working in together, and we were like, our agency, and we were like, we're not going to have a job in 2 years. Our business is going to fail, right? So that was the fear that actually drove us to really get in and drill deep into ChatGPT. But what we've learned since then, the fear's gone, and now it's just excitement and anticipation, right? Because we've learned that ChatGPT can be a very powerful extension, as you said, of our intelligence. And as that technology continues to improve, that extension becomes greater, and what it allows us to do will get bigger. So, folks, don't be afraid of AI. Don't be afraid that it's going to destroy society. We can't change what we can't change. And the key is to focus on things within your circle of influence, some old Steve Covey here. But when you focus on things that you can control, you grow your circle of influence. When you worry and get all worked up about things that you can't control, you just diminish your circle of influence, you diminish your impact, and you diminish your ability to take advantage of what is going to be the most fun ride we have ever been on. So, our role here really is just to demystify AI, sort of look past the fear and look at the opportunity, and understand that right now AI isn't coming for jobs. To get the most out of it, think of Michelangelo, an analogy I've used before, right? He can take a marble block, and he has this vision. So he understands what he wants, then he understands how to use the tools to create these amazing sculptures or paintings or whatever you want to look at. Whereas me, with those same tools and my lack of experience, I'm going to not make very pretty statues or paint very pretty paintings, and people will look at them and think I'm crazy, right? And that's where we're at with AI. So as you said earlier, and I want to finish on this, to get the most out of AI, to really tap into that extension of our intelligence, we need two things. We need a level of expertise. We need to know something. We need to have a skill to extend, right? So our expertise is marketing, business, systems, all of that kind of thing. And we're seeing massive opportunity, and we're already seeing our revenues just flying. Our workloads are decreasing. It's incredible what it's doing for us, but that's expertise. Then you need the ability to explain it to the AI, right? You need to take your vision and articulate it. And we have a very advanced prompt structure with 5 parts. I'm not going to go into it right now, but all of that is available free at the moment in our Facebook group. So the link again is below. If you really are serious about learning AI, we've got all the free training for you to start learning how to apply this tool in a way that's meaningful today to unlock real world value. So rather than worry about, is AI going to destroy us? Let's instead focus on how can we use it today to extend our intelligence and to improve the lives of ourselves, our family, and our communities, because I think that's something worth investing in. And, we get to be at the forefront of what is probably the greatest technological revolution in the history of man. And for that, I'm grateful, I'm humble, and to be here, Andy, with our Unleashed family is just so incredible. We live in extraordinary times, and what has been will no longer be. What is coming will be like nothing that's been, and we have a chance to be part of it, to shape it, and to ensure that this benefits all, not just a few. So if that's a vision you'd like to get behind, like, subscribe, and jump over to our group if you want some of that training, and we'll see you in our next one. Peace.